Hello and welcome back to W Rated, the podcast where we willingly watch the world's worst rated movies. In today's episode, we delve into the next film on IMDb's bottom 100 list, welcoming a new special guest. But for any new listeners, my name is Daisy, and as always, I'm joined by the podcast's co-creator, editor, and host, Claire. How are you doing, Claire?
I'm doing okay. To date the episode, I am recently COVID-free. It is nice to be COVID-free.
How many days did you end up?
13. I was testing positive for 13 days.
Unlucky for some, not for you.
Well, it was very unlucky because my housemate only tested positive for 5 days.
Oh, and was that in the middle of your...
Yeah, she tested later and tested out quicker.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough going. But you're back.
I'm back to have a voice again. My podcast career continues. There was a concern at one point I would never be able to speak again.
It could have been an early retirement, but not to worry.
Voice, didn't you?
I did. You sent me a voice note, and it was quite. I have to say, when I pressed play and I heard your voice for the first time, I did. I like gasped and laughed because I just didn't expect to hear it like that. It wasn't my usual Claire, and it sounded like you had like knives in your throat, which I'm pretty sure you said that's exactly what it felt like. So yeah, I any sort of like slack I was getting in terms of mask wearing and forgetting and things, it soon returned out of fear. So yeah, glad you're back. And we, as we said, we have a new special guest joining us today. Film critic and podcast guest extraordinaire is James Rodrigues. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Hello, people.
We've been so excited to have you. We just had a quick chat before we started recording, and we're so grateful for the amount of time you spend listening to our podcast and getting involved. You watch a hell of a lot of the films that we cover before you listen to the episode. Have you had any favourites so far, or any? I know you mentioned to us ones that you'd avoided, but anything you want to share?
Of the films you covered, I say I was quite surprised by I Know Who Killed Me and Brat.
I was like, yes, and then I was like, no.
Yeah, Claire's not on the Bratz team.
I'm not on the Bratz team.
No, I just, well, let's face it, when you've got some films like Disaster Movie in there, the little bit of sunshine which comes through feels like a pot of gold.
Yeah, absolutely. I think no one would be surprised if I was to say that I think the parody films deserve their own separate bottom list, like even further down than the worst.
They can't be considered movies.
I'm generally quite open-minded, but it's making me close-minded for sure, for sure. But we're not talking about a parody film today, thank God. We are talking about a new film that we haven't actually mentioned on the podcast before in terms of things that we're looking forward to or etc. But we have mentioned the director a few times, so we have been anticipating this one. James, do you want to tell us what the film is and if you have any kind of relationship to it before going in watching it?
Okay, so the film we're covering is Bloodrayne, an adaptation of the video game of the same name from prolific director Uwe Boll, who's often referred to as the world's worst film director.
Not by us, just saying. We have not made that statement because you may
only because I haven't seen the films yet.
Well, no, listeners may or may not know that this man has previously challenged people who give his films bad reviews to physical fistfights. So I am just, I'm a small woman. I have not said anything. James can say what he wants. Daisy can say what she wants.
I've got the punch bag ready. I'm training.
Any comments?
I'm training just in case, just to get a head start. Because if I do say anything, I've like kind of preempted before he even knows about it. Yep. Ninja approach. But no, it's mainly because I've never seen his films before.
Well, I've seen, with this Bloodrayne, I've seen 3 of his films. And
okay.
Are they the bottom 100 trilogy?
Now, I'm not sure. Which other films are in his are in the bottom 100?
Alone in the Dark.
And In the Name of the King.
I've not seen those two, actually.
Ah,
and House of the Dead.
Oh,
and House of the Dead. Yeah.
That's one of the ones I've seen.
He must be the most commonly featured director.
I think so. And I mean, and as James said, he is known. Like, there's a whole Guardian article entitled "Is he the world's worst director?"
But is he the worst because of his personality versus?
I definitely don't think that
film.
helped, but it does seem to be specifically the films in this case. They're not fans.
Interesting. Stay tuned for more.
Yes, he is a director whom his personality is quite abrasive. He's quite known for responding to his critics in childish and insulting ways, saying stuff like, go fuck your mother, and using horrible ableist slurs. And but if you separate the art from the artist, look at his films in the vacuum on their own right, yeah, he probably does deserve that title.
You heard it here first, or not really first. Probably like 300,000. But still, first time on the podcast? No, not even that, I don't think. Protect yourselves now. Get training for our fist fight with Uwe Boll. So as James mentioned, this is the Uwe Boll directed Bloodrayne. It came out in 2005. It's a German-American joint production. It's a fantasy action horror film, and it's set in the 18th century in Romania, believe it or not. Whether it looks like that or not, we will discuss. It stars Kristanna Loken. You may recognise her from Terminator 3. She was also in one of his other films, which you mentioned, In the Name of the King. Matthew Davis is also a relatively recognisable face from Legally Blonde and Pearl Harbor. Michelle Rodrigues, Fast and Furious franchise, and of course, very well-known actors Billy Zane, Michael Madsen, Ben Kingsley, and Meatloaf. R.I.P. There's quite a stacked cast there, guys.
Like, when it started,
considering,
and the cast was coming up, I was like, damn,
every time you just lean further forward, you know that James Franco gif when he stands up, what is this? I had no idea the cast that was in this, to be completely honest with you. Going in, I had no idea about this film.
I had just seen the poster,
yes,
because of the list, and then when I invited James on, it was James that mentioned it was like vampires and comic book and video games, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll like this. But then I looked at the poster and I was like, maybe I won't.
Maybe I won't.
When I saw Ben Kingsley, I was like, oh, Ben Kingsley, what are you doing, mate? What's happening?
So many questions. James, I just want to find out before we go into that section of the podcast. Had you watched the film before? What was the kind of relationship you had with it? And I guess the other films you've watched from the same director.
Okay, so in my life I've watched 3 of Uwe Boll's films. I hadn't watched Bloodrayne, I must admit. I decided to go for this film because I thought, well, why not? I like vampires.
What have you got to lose?
Exactly. It's just a film. It's not going to actually kill me or anything.
It's not going to hurt you. I won't bite.
I mean, of his previous 2 films, House of the Dead, I was not a fan of, but there is one line reading which just still makes me laugh, which I'll let you discover for yourselves when you watch the film.
Great. I'm looking forward to that one.
And the other one, Seed, is like the 4th worst film I've ever seen.
Oh, ironically, Seed is not on the list.
Yeah, I think that's because not a lot of people have seen it.
Not enough people have seen it.
That's it, because all the films that are on the list are adapted from the Dragon one. I don't know if it is, but the other 3 are all adapted for video games. So I think that's also we'll come into why do we think this is on the list later, but I do think there's a big portion of when you're adapting a different piece of media, you automatically have an inbuilt fan base, or in this case, an inbuilt critic.
Yeah. Well, precisely.
And I guess if Seed's an original, then people won't have sought it out in the same way.
That makes sense, because a lot of other films he did has also been sequels to his video game films.
It's interesting. We can go into a bit further detail about why he picks those if he picks them on purpose or not, and whether he cares about the fan base. Spoiler, he does not. But just ahead of going into spoiler territory and, you know, diving into the film itself, it is number 29 on the bottom 100. So, you know, not the worst, not the best that we've, well, say best, very loose terms.
Glitter was great.
We did like Glitter. Anything that's like
Girly.
basically undermined purely because it's female fronted, or like you know, I can't think of words at the moment. I was about to say attacked. That is not like what's the word I'm looking for? Made for women, basically. Doesn't deserve to be on there, but that's a separate chat. But yes, it's got 3 points. Misogyny. But yes, Bloodrayne has got a 3.2 on IMDb. So yeah, I mean, we can chat about our ratings at the end, but in terms of what we felt about the film, going into spoiler territory now, so if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, give us a pause, come back once you've seen it, and now you can hear all about
it's currently on Amazon Prime.
Oh yes, we watched it on Amazon Prime. I was glad I didn't have to pay or rent this one.
I had to VPN because Amazon Prime in Ireland. Shit.
Oh really?
It tells you available, and then you click on it, and it's like, haha, not in your country.
Psych.
Boo.
I mean, when it's these films, I wonder if it's actually like protecting you. It's like, anyway, guys, what did we think about the film? I'm gonna start with James first as our guest. Give us your overall thoughts going into Bloodrayne. Well, after watching Bloodrayne.
I think it's a bag of shit. And
that concludes today's episode.
Almost did a spit take.
Oh.
Wrong time to be having a quiet little off-air drink.
Tell us more, James. Unravel this bag of shit, please.
Okay. Because when you got a bag of shit, you want to unravel it. Watching the film, it felt like something which knows it wants to get from point A to point B, but it doesn't have an interest in showing the journey in between. And it does this weird thing where it shows point A after point B and uses some hazy looking flashbacks as though...
Why? I've said this before on the podcast. Flashbacks for no reason in films is now my number one cinema sin. Just stop it. Just linear film unless there's a point to it.
I agree with you completely.
No apologies necessary.
But this just feels like Uwe Boll has this thing where he gets great cast to work with him, but
how?
I don't know. It's
my question.
I don't know. Are they paid well?
What I will say, like, again, this maybe was better for later, but it kind of feels relevant to come up now. Like, Michael Madsen, who is quite a big name, has worked on, like, tons of Tarantino films and, like, just a whole wealth
especially
of movies.
At the sort of time that this was made as well, like, coming to the back of the 90s.
He has said this film, I think the word he used was an abomination, as he described this film. But in the same quote, he also said he would happily work with Uwe Boll again. He said he really enjoyed working with him and would work with him again. So that tells me that he must be an enjoyable person to work with. The energy on the set must be, or the energy in the pitching room or something. He must have, at least with actors, a good vibe. Because if this guy is like, this film is one of the worst things I've ever made, but love the guy, would come back.
Like an Ed Wood thing, where he was reportedly so nice and lovely to work with, but his films were... not well received, to say the least.
Yeah. And I wonder if that's why he kind of gets his back up about people criticising him, because he's like, look, I'm just trying to have a good time. Like, I make films, like, piss off, but then obviously there is another layer where he sounds like he's quite horrid about it. But I wonder if that's where it comes from.
People are constantly telling you you're a piece of shit, that must get on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really interesting take. But yeah, that Michael Madsen quote is very funny. In terms of the fact that he would work with him again, he sounds like a very interesting chap. This Uwe Boll. In terms of the story, it is, as we mentioned, it's the 18th century, set in the 18th century. Claire mentioned it's about vampires. So a vampire, well, type of half vampire. I can't remember the
Dhampir.
word. A dhamphir escapes from sort of like a circus kind of. She's sort of trapped in like a freak show kind of like setup. And basically teams up with a group of vampire slayers to kill the man who raped her mother, so AKA her father, without giving too much away, because that's exactly how she became a half vampire, half human, because the man who raped her, quote unquote, Ben Kingsley, is a vampire. And the way I've explained that is just as confusing as the way that they reveal all of that information in the film, which is kind of why I feel like I explained it like that, because I'm trying to think about how I watched it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, they do that bit, and then they reveal that bit, and then they reveal that bit. Which in some, I have to admit, in some films it works because it's giving you these little bits of information, keeping you interested, like, but then I don't know, like James, you said, it just doesn't seem to work. It feels very messy.
Yeah, it feels like Uwe Boll's just trying to not take the simple route of doing the film linearly, but he's doing it to be arty for the sake of it, and as a result it just feels so, as you said, messy. And for example, take when we see Rain, and she's had her blood rage, she's shocked by what's happened, she's screaming in the aftermath. You think, okay, this is going to lead into her accepting her powers and being able to utilize it in better ways. So the very next scene we see, after she's so shocked by it, is just her stumbling across vampires and then just being like, fuck it, I'm going to slaughter them out of my own choice. It just feels like two different characters have been smushed together in this one entity, and it doesn't feel like there's any progression shown on the screen for her.
Claire, I know that you're a big fan of vampires and vampire literature and media. What was your initial reaction with the film, and did you feel the same about characters?
I think so, like, because I wouldn't say I particularly enjoyed the film, but not for any of the reasons that I thought I wouldn't enjoy it. I don't think, based on the poster, I had any realization it was set in medieval times.
Me neither. No idea.
We've all had a little private discussion, because originally one of the top 3 ideas for our Daisy versus Clare was medieval films, and as we discovered, I have seen literally one medieval film.
No, sorry, can you please share what you actually called it, because you forgot the word for medieval?
Oh yeah, Ye Olde films. Because I did not know.
One day we need to do it purely because I love the name of the theme.
But my idea was Ye Olde time movies. And yeah, apart from The Last Duel, the only other films I've seen set around that time are Disney movies. So I was like, oh god. So that instantly kind of made me go, oh, okay. And the whole thing to me felt like an episode of Xena Warrior Princess.
I haven't seen it, but
that vibe.
The screen caps I've seen, I can.
And like, I don't know, like, again, if anyone ever watched like things like Charmed and even Buffy, when they did like flashback episodes, or like in Charmed when they'd go back in time.
I know exactly what you mean.
That whole vibe, like the look of this film and the quality of the screenplay and even the quality of the direction all felt like TV something show that would be a late 90s, early 2000s TV show. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they are working on much smaller budgets in much smaller time frames with like much different things. When you're working on a feature film, you have bigger budgets, you have more time, you expect more. So I think I was surprised in that aspect about the quality of it in that way. I think I expected bad quality script or bad quality acting, but actually just all over. And I don't know if that is just because that's my only knowledge of those kind of eras, those time eras, is that kind of TV. Like, I never watched Xena, but it used to be on all the time. And I was like, oh, if you told me this was an episode of Xena, I'd just be like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Apologies to Xena fans, because I think I just insulted them all.
No, because I think I make you right, because I think we're so used to period set pieces which are big and sweeping and epics and, you know, really looking cinematic and really vast, and this felt very small and contained and very static in terms of the camera and very.
Even bring it back to the the characters, which I think was actually what you asked me about. Like,
who knows? I don't remember what I say after I say it.
They felt like they were out of a TV show as well, in that, like, I felt like I'd missed their characters. I felt like I'd like missed a big chunk that I was meant to know who they were already, because they come in, like, that can really work sometimes. They came in and they seemed already established, and it felt like you were meant to know who the stone people, I can't remember the name of them now, the secret group are, and you're meant to know what a dhampir is and all of this stuff automatically. And I was like, do I miss the first episode of the show? Like, what's happening? I felt like I'd been
that
plugged in
resonates
mid-season.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
it definitely feels like. Sorry, go on, James.
No, it's all right. I think they try and make up for that in ways by clumsily inserting some expository dialogue all over the place. Like, there's a scene where Michael Madsen and the Rogue and Michelle Rodriguez are just riding on the horses. You see them from the background, and there's like plenty of dialogue ADR'd in there. And it just felt like, yeah, you did this because you were afraid audiences wouldn't know what the hell was going on, didn't you? And
we didn't, even with it. To be honest, no, I mean, you're right. It what it does, I think, in other films that you've said, it can work well, and I think it's because it doesn't spoon feed the audience. It lets them piece together the puzzle and kind of zone in on characters that have lived before and will live after the film. This, however, felt like, which you've already alluded to, the middle episode, like a mid-season episode of something. We haven't seen the before, and we won't see what happens afterwards.
Well, and I wondered, like, I spent a lot of time today trying to figure, because I was like, oh, was it because I don't know the source material? Like, I've not read, I've not played the game, I've not played the comic, read the comic. Why can I talk in the wrong way? I'm like mixing all my words up. I have not played the games, and I have not read the comic books. I haven't played the games or read the comic books, and
you should do that as your little like preamble for going on the podcast. Like, just practice. I might do that.
My brain. So I don't have any knowledge of these characters, and like, so maybe the intention was that the audience already would, and they'd be like, oh yeah, this is Rain, and we already know the backstory. But the game is set in World War II Germany. This is a prequel to the game series.
Oh.
So yeah, the game, there's 3 games, and they all start in Nazi Germany, and she's attacking Nazis. So this film was written as a prequel to it. So I was like, oh, well then no, people wouldn't know anything about this, you know. Like,
funny thing about that.
Sense now.
Uwe Boll directed a trilogy of these Bloodrayne films. So you have this first one. The third one is Bloodrayne: The Third Reich, so Nazi Germany.
And it's
The second one is a Western with a vampire Billy the Kid.
Oh. Well, and there is also a sort of fourth one. I don't know if either of you know about the sort of spin-off.
I
don't know much about any of it, to be honest. So
James has got it. Blubberella. An Uwe Boll directed parody of his own film called Blubberella, where the main character of Rain is played by an overweight woman, and all of the jokes are fat jokes. And you can, I think it is available on Amazon Prime. I only watched the trailer, and the trailer was enough. The trailer, like,
this is why he's the worst director.
The actress kind of got people kind of being like, why would you want to be in this? And in fairness, she was like, there are no roles for overweight women. It's really hard to get a role for an overweight woman. Someone was going to do it. Why should I not get that paycheck? And now she's got notoriety. Yeah, she did say that she did try really hard to get them to change the name, and she lost that battle. That is her big thing. She's like, I hate the name of it. But yeah, so like, I mean, fair play to him. We do a lot of parodies in this film. We talk about how the parodies have no heart because they don't know their source material. Uwe Boll's like, I'll parody my own film. Thank you very much.
It's just, I'm just looking it up now because
it feels quite sadistic that you're just gonna parody your own film to cast an overweight actress and then just poke and prod her and make her the butt of the joke, which seems like the entire film's purpose.
Especially because if that's the only thing that's changed, that is such a
it's very
precise.
It's very silly. I feel like it's more than that, I feel like it was just a big fuck you to the fans of the games. Like, oh, you didn't like my films because you didn't think they took the source material well enough. Well, let me show you. Like, you thought the ones I cared about were bad. Let me really fuck up this favorite character of yours.
Wow,
that's how I took it.
What a man!
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it happened.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, there's like 3 and a spin-off parody of these films, and yeah, it's only the 3rd one that takes place in World War II Germany, which is where the original game, and I think at least the 2nd game maybe as well, if not all 3, take place.
That makes total sense, because this feels like a film that's part of, as we said, like either a mid-season episode, or like as a film, part of a series, but not the first one.
Mm-hmm. It's a prequel.
Yeah,
it's like
it's an origin story, but not an origin story that's made for people to watch first. You know, there are ways of watching big franchises when it comes to films that were released but set at different times, chronologically and stuff. I always watch stuff in the order it was released, because they were made to be watched that way, as opposed to the other way. And once you've got familiar with the material, that's absolutely fine, like, in my opinion, but you can do what you want. But this explains why it's like, oh, this is made as a prequel but done first. And it's just, perfectly summarizes my issues with the confusion and just weird discomfort of, I feel like I'm supposed to really not care about these characters, but at least understand or care about the lore or something. It just feels like I've just missed a trick of some kind.
You said in our 2022 Razzie episode that you love a film with lore, and I completely disagreed with you. So I was wondering, like, did you enjoy the lore in this? Because I didn't even understand it.
I did enjoy the lore when it wasn't being just told to me.
This is L-O-R-E, just in case anyone can't understand my terrible accent. Lore, L-O-R-E.
In terms of, like, just over expository dialogue, if that's the right word, I can't think of how to say it. Because it was just right. Like I was like, I like the idea of dhampirs. I think that's really cool. Like, I just feel like there was so much more they could have done, and they kind of just. My problem with this film is that it could have been quite fun, could have been quite campy, could have been like really quite dark and quite gritty, but instead it's just really boring.
Well, it's an R-rated movie. I don't know. I assume I didn't see the R-rated cut. I watched whatever version is on Amazon, and it didn't feel R-rated to me. But the film isn't 18, as far as I'm aware, and has an uncut version available, I think maybe on DVD. There are like 3 scenes of like quite gnarly violence, but when I say scenes, I literally mean like 2-second shots. And then there's like a sex scene where she gets naked. And it's not even full frontal, it's her chest. But like, I would have gone nastier in every way.
It looked like it should be.
Like, like I'd go really like smutty with the sex, or really violent. And like, if you could have done so much with the violence in this, you could have gone to town. And it feels, I would have assumed it had been cut out to get a lower rating, but I'm not sure if that's true. It felt like they, like, a couple of times were like, oh, let's just do something really gnarly here. But I was like, this actually would have been much more interesting if it was all really gnarly. And then you could have maybe gone cult classic, because people love a gnarly film.
Yeah, it was all a lot more vanilla than I expected.
Yeah.
Just a bit, like, sort of clean, and it was very, like, considering like sort of time it was set, it was all very costume drama, as opposed to being an action fantasy film first, and then the production is bringing you into the world. It kind of felt like they were like, watch it because of the world, but the world was not done well production wise or shot well camera wise. So I'm like, what am I here for?
Yeah, for a film where you have Meatloaf in his castle surrounded by many lusting women, it feels quite... Yeah, vanilla is the right word.
They were real Romanian prostitutes, though.
They were as well. Yeah. Even like, how could you fuck it up that bad? Like, you've got
there's been a lot of complaints about that, like, oh, that's so sordid because he only used them because they're cheaper. But then actually, like, loads of films have done that. Apparently, I did a bit. So if you're scandalised by that, do a little bit of research. It's actually really common, because they're still getting paid. They're getting rates that
This
they
is
want.
what I mean. How is it sordid? It might be something that actors are affronted by, but it shouldn't be sordid because sex work isn't sordid. They're
No.
still being paid for their time. It's not like he didn't pay them. Well,
Yeah.
we don't know, but that's not what is reported.
Yeah, and like, so in Event Horizon, Eyes Wide Shut, and Nymphomaniac, just to name 3 that I found on a lovely Reddit forum discussing this, they all used sex workers for the more graphic sex scenes because they were comfortable doing it.
Yeah, they're professionals.
Yeah, so like, because when I saw that originally that he had used prostitutes to play prostitutes, I was like, oh, come on, that's a bit like, ugh. But then when you look into it, I was like, oh, actually that makes sense. And if they're happy to be there and they're getting paid and they're comfortable and they treat them well on set,
Yeah,
well, why not?
Yeah, what's the
it's
issue?
the same difference as like getting stunt people to do the stunts. That's what they do. So if they're the expert, some actors and actresses do their own stunts, but it's not. I'm sure people wouldn't be turning their nose up if it was cheaper for a stunt person to do something rather than someone else. I was about to say rather than Tom Cruise, but he does all of his own stunts.
That's also exactly why stunt workers do it. It's not just the skill, it's also because they're cheaper, and so their insurance is cheaper, because if they get injured and they have to go off for 6 months, production doesn't have to stop. That they literally are there because they cost the production less money. So it is exactly the same. Well done on that astute comparison, Daisy.
Astute observation. Not very good with the comparison though when I said about Tom Cruise, but there we are. So I don't know what you guys thought about the screenplay itself. I've got a little bit of trivia to kick us off though. So Guinevere Turner is the screenwriter. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen her, but she's actually better known as an actress for some people. She appeared in The L Word for quite a few years, I believe. She also appeared in American Psycho, which she wrote.
Yes, she wrote the screenplay for that.
Yeah, and she also wrote The Notorious Betty Page, which I've heard of as well. But she so there's like conflicting information, I think, probably one from Uwe and one from her, but essentially she drafted the screenplay, and then Uwe just took that and made his own changes and went with it. Whether she turned it in late or whether he just didn't go back for rewrites and work together to create a finished script is kind of in contention. But ultimately she wrote one draft, which is never used in a film. The first draft is never ever used to be shot. It's not a shooting script. And then basically there's a quote from him saying he asked the actors to take a crack at it, and then apparently Turner claims that she estimates only about 20% of her script was actually filmed. But she's still, credited as the screenwriter. I'm pretty sure I haven't got anything written here, but I'm sure I read somewhere that she said she had negative stuff to say about it. But you would regardless, because it's difficult. You want the credit for the stuff that you've done, but then when you look at it and it's not your work, it must be a really difficult situation to be in.
It's also easy to discredit yourself from a film that is critically panned. I'm sure that makes it a little easier. But yeah, like, I mean, for me, I'm like, how could you have had a script by the screenwriter of American Psycho and then be like, oh, I'll just change it? Like, what?
I know.
Yeah, that feels like it feels like discrediting her work and looking down at her in one way, because you're right. She wrote American Psycho, and you're just gonna rewrite the script, rewrite the first draft even, and tell the actors to take a crack at it. Honestly, it fucking shows in the film.
It does. And
yeah,
I think that also like feeds into that kind of like TV feel to it, because like, God bless TV writers, American TV writers of like long running TV shows are the hardest working people in the world. Like, God bless them, they write 22 scripts a season and they work hard. But they write those scripts in like under a week, like, and it is a script by committee and they have to just do what they can get out. And that's what this feels like. It feels like they were writing it on the spot in as quick as time as possible and just getting out what they could get out. And the tonal changes in the film, they're not like whiplashy, because it's not like wildly tonal changes, but they also like, it just, there's no consistency to the film. It's like sometimes she's angry, sometimes she's positive, sometimes she's sad, but you're not really sure why she's any of these things in any of the scenes.
No.
She just seems to be existing and like picking a mood in every scene that doesn't flow from one scene to the next.
Yeah. I didn't really understand her character. I didn't know who she really was. I didn't really know who.
I felt like there was no character.
Yeah, I think the rest, you could rely on archetypes and stereotypes and kind of understand them. But even so, they were so, thinly written. And it's mad, really, because, like, it's an 1.5-hour film. There's quite a lot of characters, but you do spend quite a lot of time with the same sort of handful. I barely remember the details of the story, like in terms of the actual scenes. I remember the story, and it's just like I can't remember anything that they said either. I can't remember. All I remember is these sort of like cardboard cutout. So that they were the female one of the group who ends up betraying them and goes rogue. Okay, it was all very like top line and stuff, and it's interesting because with this kind of setting, with this kind of like fantastical lore and stuff, you could have done so much with it, especially if you're, number one, not going to care about the source material, and number two, get a script that you're just going to like be like, oh, anyway. It's just like, if you're going to play fast and loose with stuff, at least go further and have some ambition and passion. It's just,
it feels like maybe like I don't know if he was. I couldn't find anything in the research of it, but like it's almost like he was under a time crunch, and he was like, "We have to get this filmed like now. We have to do it quick. We have to just like get the film done and out." And like, I know that the film industry is very complex, and you're given windows wherein you have to release, but like this doesn't feel like one of those films that would really be subject to those kind of rules. Like I feel like they would have had time. Maybe it was something to do with locations or actor availability or something, but like it really, reading into it, it very much does feel like he needed that script and he wanted it, and once he had it, he was like, let's go make the movie quick. And the whole thing does feel like a rushed job. It doesn't feel thought out enough. It feels like a first draft, and it is.
As I said before, the main downfall or the main criticism for me is just that it's boring. Like I like fantasy, but then it also can lose me sometimes if it's a lot of expository dialogue. And this kind of was that, talking about not a lot of stuff. Like it kind of was the same conversation over and over again about who her dad was, why she was getting revenge, other than the subplot of Michelle Rodriguez's character sort of turning against her group because, like her
Billy
her
Zane
dad,
is her father.
her dad like previously ruled over a certain part of the place or whatever, and now he's kind of like trying to take her again. I can't even explain to you. I remember quite a lot of the films that even if I don't ever think I'm going to, once I get into it, Claire's like, well, you've just explained it now. This I just really couldn't, because not a lot actually happens.
There's no sense of like urgency in the film, and it's both like within the film it's setting it up for like this final battle, like she's gonna have to go up against her dad, but it never, like, even me saying that sounded more exciting than they make it sound in the film. She's like, well, I'm gonna go kill the man that raped my mum. He's not my father. I'm just gonna go off and kill him. And like, it's just very like blasé like that. And there's like a couple of kind of big set pieces in the film, but even they don't feel exciting or building to attention. There's conflict.
Inconsequential is the word that springs to mind.
Yeah.
It feels inconsequential. The conflict doesn't feel like it changes anything, and
no
you don't
stakes.
care about the conflict.
Yeah.
There
no
are
stakes. Wooden stakes.
You're chuffed with that.
I am.
Yeah, it feels like so much of the film is engineered to be badass and a great moment to throw in the trailer, but it just all feels so hollow and artificial.
Hollow.
Hollow's
Definitely.
a great word for it. And it stems for me anyway immediately from her character. I could not tell you anything about Rain other than she's a dhampir who is good at fighting. That is literally the only thing I can tell you about her character, and we spend like 99 minutes with her.
It's just like you get introduced to her, and I think it's quite a good introduction because you're like, oh my god, what is happening to this woman? Like, she's in, you know, this set up freak show in the carnival and whatever, and you know, there's talking about blood rages, and oh, what is this going on? Blah blah blah. And unfortunately, it's like not kept either mysterious enough, or you're not let into that character's feelings. You just, all they do is go, here's a label that says Damphia. They just go, pop that on her, and then from then on, that is her identity. She's got a name, a species, and a motive, and that is all you know and all you care about. The only other thing is that you really know about her is that she's good with the swords, which she picked up from her friend. They're not even hers, and she wanted to fuck that guy that she fucked in
but
the,
you know,
in the
like
prison.
listening to
That's
you,
it.
Listening to you say that is so funny, because I'm like, for a video game, that's perfect. That's exactly what you need for a video game. You need an avatar. You need to know her species, so you know her strengths and her weaknesses. You need to know like some skills, what weapons she carries, and then you're good
what
to
her
go.
mission is.
Yeah, you're good to go. So it's perfect for a video game character, which makes sense. But they needed to do more. Like, it feels weird but like it's a video game adaptation. Like the Sonic movie, like that takes Sonic out of the realm and takes him out of the game. Keeps enough of the elements of the game because of like Dr. Eggman and stuff like that. But like it also gives him more of a character. Like it does help. He has a bit of a character in the games, and then there's a whole comic book and cartoon franchise built around it. So Sonic does have a character.
Sounds like they flesh it out.
But they do. They flesh him out for us, so that he's a character that we care about with a personality, and we learn that he's cheeky and sarcastic, and he wants family, and he likes playing games. They don't flush anything about Rain out,
which I think makes it hard for her to give a good performance because
she's got nothing to perform,
nothing to work with.
Yeah.
What about the rest of the cast? Any views on that?
Ben Kingsley, I get the impression that they thought, okay, I get the impression that when they're casting Ben Kingsley, they thought, this is great, we've got a big name pedigree to be in our cast, and he's going to be great in it. And when he's on screen, he looks as if just him with his face all powdered white in that wig that looks like a Lego hairpiece. It just looks like he's going, you haven't paid me enough to look like a give a shit.
Literally, it's like he's doing a parody of himself, like the whole Trevor Slattery thing in Iron Man. Like, I was the best King Lear of Croydon. You know, it was very much like I'm an actor. It didn't look like he was trying at all.
So he signed up for this film because he had just always wanted to play a vampire, and he'd never been offered a role to play a vampire or anything. So he was like,
play.
I want to play a vampire, and I want the big cloak and the silly teeth. And then they didn't even give him a cloak. But so like he had said, he was like, he didn't have the best reasons for taking it, and it feels like he wants to be in Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, like really hamming it up, going balls to the wall, over the top, dramatic. And the film doesn't really let him do that because all he kind of really does is sit on a throne, like, which again works for the character, but doesn't.
It's as if they needed to open it up, let him really chew the scenery, and then it could have been this really sort of like camp, like gritty, grotesque, like
it's not
horror action thing.
Yeah, and he doesn't not seem villainous, but he never seems villainous. Like I'm just fucking looking around my room, but like I've got the Hunger Games books above me, and I'm like, President Snow. All President Snow does in the Hunger Games franchise is sit on the throne, but he's so villainous.
There's an atmosphere that you can sense,
and you can see him like moving the chess pieces to fuck with Katniss. Whereas in this film, he kind of just waits for her to get to him, and he's like, "Oh,
I didn't even think he knew she was even coming for him for most of the film."
That he's just kind of like, oh, someone can find her, or she'll find us, whatevs. Like, there's no urgency to it, but it also makes him not a good villain because we don't get the sense that he's plotting anything or that he's gonna hurt her anyway. It's just like, oh, if she turns up, she turns up.
He literally just chills. He just vibes. Nothing really. Well, from what I can remember anyway, didn't seem to have anything that he busied himself with.
He gets a bit of action in the final fight, but even then, it's not enough.
This is supposed to be the big bad, the one who instills fear, and he's the thing everything's building up to. And yeah, you're right. He just has the general air of, here she comes. I guess I'll fight her. He's like the lazy uncle or something.
Yeah, and again, I figured another why do I keep just comparing it to things? Because it's the things I want to watch instead. But, Series 1, Season 1 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the big bad. It's because you said big bad, and I always associate big bad with Buffy.
Agreed.
The Master. There's 2 episodes to that season, and I think there are only 2 episodes where the Master actually leaves the underworld or the Hellmouth. The Master, every single scene of the Master through those 12 episodes is him in an underground cave talking to himself, talking to a minion, or talking to a little boy. He doesn't interact with Buffy. He doesn't really kind of kill anyone. He is just monologuing in a cave until the last episode. But he's a villain, and every time he's on screen, you're like, oh god, he's gonna real fuck shit up now. Oh,
what's he plotting? What's he scheming?
Such a mood to it, and maybe that's what they were trying to do here, but there's no.
Yeah, they failed.
Yeah, they really did.
Spectacularly. I actually felt the most bored by his stuff,
and it's such a shame because whether you like Kingsley or not, he's a great actor. Yeah, he takes some inappropriate roles, including this one, for different reasons. But he's a great guy. Actor.
But listen, you can't really blame him if you're in the biz and you think, I want to play a vampire. I'll have a crack at it. Give us a go.
He should have waited for Twilight, and I don't even like Twilight.
He would have been great in Twilight.
That's he would have hammed that up. He would have had a time.
He would have been fantastic in one of those red cloaks. What are they called? The main
Volturi or something like that.
Volturi, yeah.
In Michael Sheen's role, Martin Sheen. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, Martin Sheen. I don't like the Twilight films, but I do love Martin Sheen, so he deserved that role. But he was good. Kingsley would have been great as one of them.
What about Michael Madsen? We know what his thoughts are on the film, but what are our thoughts on him?
I mistook him for someone else for the whole film. I thought thought he was this actor who's done a lot of TV, who I mostly remember him from playing a love interest in ER, in the later seasons of ER. And so, it was only when I was doing my research today, I was like, oh no, he's quite a famous character actor.
Oh, amazing! Well, who did you think he was?
I'll Google the name so that then you can look them up.
Okay.
Give me a couple of minutes.
All right.
Michael Madsen is the kind of guy who, like in Pulp Fiction, he can play it cool, he can play it down, but he can have an air of danger to him, so that when he starts dancing,
unpredictability.
Yes, exactly. But I didn't get any of that from this. It felt like he was trying to be the wizened mentor, but it just felt like he was going through the phases and
just going through the motions, the beats, just literally saying the lines. He kind of, for me, he looked like an actor who didn't really believe in the whole frilly shirt, 18th century setting of it all, and he looked like a man that felt like he felt silly.
According to, I read this on IMDb, so take it with a pinch of salt, but according to Uwe Boll, Michael Madsen was drunk every day on set.
Oh, really?
Probably why he was like, I'll work with him again. I had a great time.
Because you don't remember it.
The actor who I mistook him for is Donal Logue, who is a Canadian-Irish actor I know him from ER, but he's been in Sons of Anarchy, he's been in Law of Order, he was in Gotham, he's done a lot of TV. and that was kind of the caliber of actor I expected in this because of the visual quality. I expected TV actors, and then actually we got some really great movie actors, but just the caliber of everything else. But yeah, so apologies to Michael Madsen.
What was his
but
name?
like,
Sorry,
Donal Logue, Donal. I live in Ireland now, and I can't fucking pronounce it. My mother will be like cursing
Rogue.
me. Logue,
L.
Rogue with an L.
Oh,
See,
not Rogel, Logue.
oh yeah. He's
Like,
got
you
a
can
familiar
see,
face.
like, they don't look that alike, but they also don't look dissimilar. Like, they could both
And
be in the same prison
And when
lineup.
you're like, what I'm watching is TV material, you expect a TV actor for sure.
Yeah, no, I feel like they could be in a police lineup together. Like,
see, I wonder if the whole thing of looks very TV, but they're casting movie actors. Maybe that's where all the budget went.
Yeah. It's just
do you
just so
think there were
interesting with the
budgetary
casting.
issues in the film? Like, I don't know if there were. I think they just did what they wanted to do.
I think it was just a bit naff.
Mm.
Like, I don't think anything went wrong. I think it was just a bit.
Apart from using the first draft of the script, that was like a big mistake.
Precisely, yeah, and it's just that
mistake.
flat. It's that flat sort of view. The colors didn't come through. The feeling of being in that place didn't come through. Maybe the sound design wasn't very good as well.
It felt dated even for 2005.
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine watching that in 2005 and feeling like it was dated. It didn't feel like... I can't think of another film that came out in 2005.
Batman
weird
Begins.
Watching it on my TV.
So you cannot tell me that this came out the same year as Batman Begins.
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
my brain can't compute that. And it's not about the time period it's saying. It's about the visual and the script and the material. They don't seem like they could be part of the
You're right.
same
It
era.
definitely reminded me of when I was used to flick through the channels and see Charmed.
Yeah.
And like the aspect ratio was off. Like, it was all stretched. It felt weird watching this film in this aspect ratio on my TV as it is now. I felt like I should have been watching it on a box TV, like from like however many years ago. Yeah, like
very
flicking
much
through the channels on terrestrial, like.
Oh, my little silver box TV with the big back that had little VHS player.
I was about to say, did you have the little VHS slot? Yes.
Oh, I had that TV for like 15 years. They
that.
made those things well.
Old reliable.
Yeah. But yeah, like definitely can imagine finding this on Channel 5 at like 11 p.m. at night and being like, I only have access to 5 channels and the news is on 3 of them, so I guess I'll watch this.
Yeah, you're right. Very Channel 5. Very Channel 5, yeah. I'm starting to use that as a bit of an insult, which is kind of funny. Oh, it was very Channel 5.
For good reason. Do you...
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, do you know how Uwe Boll funds his films? Or funded his films? So basically, there was this loophole in German tax laws. So if he invested money in a movie and in that film in Germany, the government would give him 50% of that back. So even if his films performed really awfully, that's how he kept getting financed. But
so how much did this film cost to make?
I don't know.
I do have it somewhere. Hold on.
I'm sure you said it at the top. Or
I
maybe
don't
it was
think you did, but I have got it somewhere.
I was listening to another podcast about this film earlier, so it was probably them that said it.
Hold on, I do have it somewhere. 25 million.
Ooh.
To say he invested 10 million of that into getting it made, Germany would give him 5 million back.
Essentially.
Damn.
But
smart man.
They closed this loophole in 2006, which, funny enough, the year after this was released.
They were like, this is like, we wanted more films to like boost the German film industry, but this is just ruining Germany.
Well, because it cost 25 million to make, and I think it made like 2 million back.
Yeah. Oh, I've got that as well. It made. Sorry, I scrolled down again. So 3.7 million. So I'm pulling a face. Anyway, yeah, 3.7 million from $25 million dollar budget is
yikes,
shocking.
Yeah, so I can see why Germany closed that loophole.
But it's astounding he's still got so many films made even after losses like this. It's what are your secrets? It's not just a loophole thing, must not be.
It's all very suspicious, isn't it?
He's given up filmmaking now and runs a very successful restaurant. Actually, his restaurant's like gets really good reviews and is like very well received.
Finally, he's getting what he wants. Good
well,
reviews.
apparently in 2020 he mentioned that he might start making films again. So clearly,
this is what happens when
he
you
wants the
feed his
drama.
ego.
He wants the.
It's the drama, Mick. He loves it.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting.
What a character. I'm looking forward to actually watching a few more of his films just to see like the pattern, just to unearth what's really going on there, because I feel like one isn't enough. And this is definitely not what I expected it to be. I thought the way they described him, I expected it to be like this really like distasteful.
I expected like Human
shocking
Centipede vibes.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was going to be really violent, really dirty, grotty sex.
Like sadistic.
Yeah.
I wished it was, because this was bloody boring.
Yeah. If you want something like that, I haven't watched it, but Uwe Boll made an Auschwitz film.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
Yeah, I don't think I want to watch that.
Yeah. His reasonings for it apparently were that Schindler's List doesn't reach the people like it used to.
I will tell you, and you can. I don't know if you can still listen to it because the show has ended. But I watched Schindler's List for the first time during the pandemic, during the first lockdown, by myself after a whiskey. I ended up having a few whiskeys because of the film. I started watching it at like 11 at night. Don't know why. And by the end of it, couple whiskeys deep, so shell-shocked and moved, I decided to do a voice memo to Commode and Mayo because they were doing their lockdown correspondence. Completely, like, sent them a weeping voice message about how moving it was, how, like, I couldn't believe I'd not seen it, how much it still holds up. And then forgot all about that. And then on the Friday, when it airs on BBC, well, aired because it's ended now, unfortunately, on BBC Radio 5, get a text message from my mum. You just on the radio? I was like, what? And they had played my sobbing clip of me talking at 2 a.m, drunk alone, about Schindler's List.
Wow.
So Uwe Boll is very wrong on that front. Schindler's List does reach people still.
Oh my god.
Do you have access to this voice memo anymore?
Oh, I'm sure I do. I'm sure I'd probably have the original. Yeah, I could find it in my email. The original unedited.
That I hear it.
I need to know the episode.
They cut around it. Let me hang on. All right, I'm not going to play the clip, but let me just go into my Gmail because they named their episodes based on the date, didn't they? So I can find out what Monday.
I have to be honest, as a film lover and a podcaster, this might be my most controversial take ever, but I've not ever listened to them. Mm-hmm. Not out of choice, not out of like, protest. I just haven't ever got round to it.
It was it was the second lockdown. Sorry, it was the winter lockdown.
Even worse.
I sent it on the 18th of November, which was a Wednesday, so it would have been the episode on the 20th of November, 2020, and I signed it, Claire, 31, medium-term listener, first time viewing, emotionally devastated.
That's brilliant.
Uwe Boll, you are wrong.
There we go. That was such a sidebar that I don't actually remember.
We were talking about how it was not what we expected and we wanted it to be grittier. And then we went on to Auschwitz and then he insulted Schindler's List and I would not have it.
I'm back on track.
But yeah, like I definitely expected like Tom Six vibes because of the way people talk about him and also because of the cover of House of the Dead. The poster of House of the Dead gives me bad vibes. But yeah, it maybe would have been more interesting.
Yes.
And I've commented, I've just saw one of my notes, completely irrelevant as well. But it's like, why does one dude look like Barry from EastEnders? Does anyone remember that dude?
Oh,
which guy?
I don't know. Apparently there was a dude in the film that I thought looked like Barry from EastEnders.
Sean Williamson?
He follows me on Instagram.
Oh.
Because
I went to see him at karaoke.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I tagged him.
We're doing
My
exactly. I
claim
listened
to
to
fame.
2 other podcasts about this film before we recorded, and I didn't really like either of them because in both podcasts they both just went off on complete random tangents about nothing to do with the film, and they're not podcasts I regularly listen to. So I was like, I don't care what these people are talking about. And I am now making us do the same thing. What is it
Barry
about this
from
film?
EastEnders. If you could predict a tangent that we go into on an Uwe Boll film,
We
would you have
dropped
ever
to Schindler's
predicted?
List to Barry from EastEnders
Oh
without
my God,
missing a beat.
please put that in the promo, please. That will be our highest downloaded. I guarantee you. Jesus. Anyway, Barry. I don't remember who looked like Barry from EastEnders, but it could well have been Shawn Williamson.
It wasn't.
We don't know.
I checked.
Oh, you checked.
I did.
Brilliant.
Check. It was different. It wasn't what I expected. It sounds like the fatal flaw started with the script. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I've brought it back. Guys. So you're talking about how he gets his films funded. I think he's quite a clever businessman. Like, that is a smart move of way to go. And the other thing being, like, he bought the rights to this game, and he bought the rights to like all these other video games, because most of his other films that are at least on our list are all video game films. So he is buying the rights to properties that come with an inbuilt audience that he knows he's going to make some money automatically without trying, just on brand name recognition. Like, that is smart business. So, like, you can't.
He's a money man.
Yeah, you kind of got to respect the hustle a small bit there. Even if, you know, he doesn't seem to respect the properties he is making, you know, respect the hustle.
Yeah,
fair enough.
And then he just, you know, went into the restaurant industry.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I think that kind of proves your point.
Isn't that the hardest industry to like be a success in? Like, that's the industry where you fail the most. The most like likely business to fail is a restaurant, and the man made it work. So, like, he knows what he's doing.
Maybe
get him on Dragon's Den.
Maybe that just shows where his talents truly lie.
Yeah. And you know, the
should be a
reports of
producer,
him being
not
a good
director.
person to just to factor into that what people have said about working with him.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
like,
which is again like good producing, like making sure
and
everyone on the set's
he can't
happy.
handle criticism. Don't be creative.
Yeah. Uwe,
if you're listening,
hun,
we've got a new business venture for you.
Hun, you can do it.
Oh God. Any other thoughts about sort of the wider production or the editing, anything about the sound or the music? I personally haven't got anything to say because it was just all bland and boring and inconsequential. And like I said, I think maybe the lack of good sound also didn't help in terms of being able to feel like you were there in the environment as well, because I feel like that's one of those things. Good sound is good because you don't notice it. But in this case I didn't notice it because I just don't think there was any it wasn't actually doing anything.
I think my thing, and we mentioned it right at the top of the episode, is just the egregious use of flashback. Like, we meet Rain and she's captive, and then a couple of scenes later, like, a couple other things happen, and then suddenly she's like roaming through a forest in a state, crying and freaked out, and you're like, why is she suddenly in a forest? Wasn't she just in a cage? And then it keeps flashing back to her like breaking out and killing all of the people in the freak show that she's been a part of. And it was like, that would have been so much more effective if you could have just left that in the linear plot and we could have seen how she got out and why she was attacking all these people. But instead it's like interspersed between her like going, oh no, in the woods, and like, oh, running, and it's like, I don't get the point at all, other than maybe it wasn't like good enough quality of like the scenes that they filmed weren't good enough to be used linearly.
Yeah, maybe they put it together and they were like, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't flow very well, so let's just kind of like be arty with it.
Yeah, didn't work.
No, agreed. Costumes were interesting.
My note is, why does she look like a sexy superhero?
I was very entranced by Michelle Rodriguez's corset top and low-rise jeans, because I feel like I am literally 5 seconds away from walking past someone in the street wearing that.
Yeah.
because that is the vibe that is coming back, and
I'm here for some of the noughties. I loved the corset era of the noughties. Totally ready for that.
But not the low-rise jeans.
Not the low-rise jeans. I want the floor-length denim skirts.
I've got a floor-length denim. It's like a beige denim.
Nice.
You'd like that. But yeah, no, I thought the costumes were interesting. I to be honest, that's the thing that I remember and was paying attention to the most.
It was interesting for me because it seemed like her one was loyal to the video game. Yes. And I'm like, of all the things that you kept loyal to the game, that shouldn't have been it. That should have been the one thing that you changed.
Yeah, I'm more thinking about the side characters than her. To be honest, she didn't even sort of like come to mind. But then it was interesting because part of the plot was that he like upgraded her, or he gave her more clothes, and it looks exactly the same. So I'm wondering again if it's loyal to the game where there's like an updated version or something in one of the games. What I will say is, do people of this era not ever change clothes? Do they just have one set of clothes? Because I mean,
that's kind of the same in all things like that, though. I mean, in Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I don't know if you have watched it. She wears that same
I've watched it on your movie.
There we go. She wears that one red dress for like the whole week.
Yeah, but look at that dress. Also, she's there, she's visiting, she might not have a lot of clothes, she didn't look like she has a suitcase.
I think they change their undergarments, but they don't change their like overgarments. So like she wears that red dress all the time, but she has so many layers underneath it. I assume she's changing those layers. So I would assume it'd be the same in this. Like it is annoying and it is a silly film, but
I would agree with you. However, there's a lot of chest on display. I can see there are no undergarments. True. Men or women.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you do a sexy periodic piece, you know?
We didn't talk about the sex scene. The sex scene made me uncomfortable.
We need to talk about the sex scene.
I just thought it was a really badly filmed sex scene. And I think it was just done
gratuitously. Like, we all know why they filmed that.
Yeah, but it just wasn't good. And like, I was like,
male gaze though, isn't it?
Yeah,
male gaze, but also like against the bars, like logistically.
Good for them. So they've got some course.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I mean, she is a dhampir, but like he. That's what I was thinking the whole time. He would have been doing most of the holding. So I don't know. It didn't. It wasn't filmed
good
right.
Workout.
It didn't give any thrills. It was very gratuitous. And
do you know why? Because it was all wide shots.
Yeah.
The one thing I kept thinking was that her hands were positioned one on the bars, one on the open door. So every time the door was just slamming and slamming and slamming and slamming.
Yeah.
And it was just like that. I wanted a scene just down the hall of people just hearing the slamming going, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my god, like we've already like referenced Gavin and Stacey, like when they're upstairs banging and they like put the music on and like, no, this is all okay.
Yeah. That would have been funny. Yeah, because they needed some sort of like something in it to allow a bit of the breath, like a bit of a breather, like just because it took itself so seriously, but it was boring. It didn't really do anything super thrilling or fun, but it wasn't like tense or like it was so in the middle of all the things it was trying to be and so like flat. That it would have been quite nice to have a little bit of a comedic relief at some point because it would have been something to give it like some texture, so to speak.
Yeah, usually films like these have just one character who's there just to be the comedic relief. A bit doofy,
maybe that's
dropping
why
things.
It felt so meh.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Why do they keep attempting odd British accents?
Because everyone in the Ye Olde times is British,
except Michelle Rodrigues.
Well, I have.
Oh wait, no, she was. Michael Madsen wasn't. One of them was American. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, no, it's just it's the rule that they always wear the same clothes. They all can get places really quickly, even though they're riding horses, and they all have close to British accents
and bad wigs.
And bad wigs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure one of them had an American accent. I was like, yeah, okay. So it's just whoever can do a British accent does one. And it also wasn't really a British accent either. It was just that weird kind of like Middle Ages.
I live in
like,
the oldie times.
I'm just going to put an E on on the end of some of these nouns and vowels.
It is exactly what I would do.
Well, does anyone have any other things to share about the film, or shall we dive into sort of it further into its reception and its reviews, because we have touched on it a little bit already.
Yeah.
Cool. So we mentioned about the money. So extremely poor US box office returns. But it did actually open in the top 10 in many foreign theatres, apparently. This included Russia, where it opened number 3, and UAE opened number 1. So there is an audience out there somewhere for this film.
Well, it's because the UAE censor loads of films.
Right, so this is the
drug use and
sex
sex use.
Yeah.
So, this seems really easy to edit without losing any of the plot. Like, you can cut that sex scene straight out and the film still makes complete sense. You can cut the violence out and just have a little bit of hand-to-hand combat. It still makes complete sense.
So it's more what it was up against in terms of that genre and things like that. Okay. Right, yeah. See, this is the thing. The data doesn't always completely tell the story. You've got to know the context of these things. And what I thought was really interesting, which you might already know about, is so Billy Zane was involved with the distributor, which was Roma Entertainment.
I read about this.
Yeah, and then Uwe Boll sued him for revenue owed. I'm guessing because of the bad reception and the fact that it was his production company. And then before the DVD of the film was released, Boll removed the Roma name and logo from the credits and packaging, and therefore Roma ceased distributing the film.
Sounds like a win for the company.
Yeah, cutting ties. It's just, yeah. I think this is where it kind of comes into play. His personality side of things, in terms of there seems to be an Uwe Boll who sets these films up and films these films where he does well. Well, he doesn't do well with the filming, but he financially he seems okay. And then once it's released, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. He just can't handle. It sounds like do you know what it kind of sounds like to me? Some people, myself included, just completely appreciate that I'm not creative, but that's why I do producing, because I want to be in that creative world, but give my skills that I can provide. Because if I try to do, I say that I have directed something now, maybe there is more to me than it seems. But there are roles for people where they go, I love this world, but this isn't something that I do well, so I'll provide. Like a lot of investors in terms of production companies, people who have that money, who love that world, will invest because they're like, I love it, but I don't have the time, I don't have the skill, etc. But I do have the money. It's as if he should, as we were saying, he should do that, because when it comes to actually dealing with the second half of what it takes to be in the film industry, which is being critiqued for your work and publicizing your work and all of that side of things, he does not do well in at all. He is not media. He's needs some serious media training coming from a PR.
He clearly subscribes to the all press is good press because people know his name. Like,
that's true. We wouldn't know who the hell he was otherwise. I really don't think that his films would be on the bottom 100.
And there's not like that many directors that get like a 7-page film listicle written in The Guardian about them. And The Guardian's got a bit trash, like in terms of its film writing, but this was also an article from like a number of years ago. Like, that isn't the kind of behaviour that most directors get.
Yeah, maybe he saw that it was giving him a bit of notoriety and he decided to lean into it.
The thing is, it's also a double-edged sword, because it brought up like petitions calling for Uwe Boll's retirement, and just
so he's feeding it, and then it makes him more angry, and then he continues.
Yeah. So is it better to be just a middling director that doesn't get any notice, or a director who's noticed for being so shat up on? Really?
Yeah, something. All I can think of is ego.
Yeah, very true.
In terms of Rotten Tomatoes, Claire, have you checked it?
Haven't. I want to say this one surely has a lower rating than the Flintstones.
I can confirm this has a lower rate an audience score than the Flintstones. This has a 17% audience score, and a 4% critics.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think that's probably one of the lowest ones
Yeah.
from Rotten Tomatoes' point of view.
Yeah.
The consensus is it's an absurd sword and sorcery vid game adaptation from Schlock maestro Uwe Boll, featuring a distinguished and slumming cast. I really like that last phrase there. Some interesting reviews of note. Chicago Reader's Andrea Grunwald said, "Just when you thought camp was dead, along comes this bizarre cross between a Tarantino knockoff and a Hammer horror film." I want to see that. I want to see the cross of a Tarantino and a Hammer horror, because this ain't it.
Yeah, were they drawing that just from like how it got non-linear at times? Because
No, they were like, there's an actor who's normally in Tarantino films.
good point.
And there
it
was
has
some
vampires
violence.
in.
Do you know what I mean?
Was vampires.
eFilmCritic.com, Rod Gonzalez said the fight scenes are the worst kind of editing room cheating, meant to cover for actors who haven't been trained to wield anything more than intimidating than a cell phone.
Yeah.
Can't say I remember any of the fight scenes, to be completely honest with you.
They were just a bit dull.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I think this is why I didn't engage with it, because I just found it boring. And this is, for me, that's the worst thing you can be. It's entertainment at the end of the day. I'd much rather be annoyed or angry at a film than in some ways. Metascore got 18. LA Weekly's Chuck Wilson said there are all sorts of noteworthy people in this silly vampire epic. Epic's a bit hyperbolic, isn't it? Including acting great Sir Ben Kingsley and Geraldine Chaplin, but the only artist this critic wants to heap praise upon is the regrettably unidentified supervisor of blood spatter. Nice work, dude. As you said, there were a few moments where it was a little bit gory, but I don't really remember it for that. So obviously it wasn't enough for me. And lastly, Austin Chronicles Marjorie Baumgarten said, maybe everyone involved was hoping that no one would see this movie, but Madsen is the only one who should fear anyone seeing his work. I don't know, Claire, have you any reviews
I
to
just
share?
found the one on Letterboxd. Which because there's a lot of like trolly ones on Letterboxd, but I felt this one was genuine.
I don't think I ended up doing Letterboxd.
I felt this one was genuine. It's a 4-star review from 2019 by Fred Anderson, and it's quite simple and short. Oddly old school and very gory fantasy swashbuckler with no other intention than to entertain for the moment, and it truly serves its purpose, so sue me. And like, I feel like he genuinely believes that. I think this, tickled. And what he says, like oddly old school, I think is incredibly true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if you're into that kind of older era of films, I can see why he, I don't agree, but I think that is a genuine review rather than like there's a lot on there that are like, I wonder, this is the best film ever, ha ha ha.
And I wonder if we're going into this granular detail on it because it's part of the bottom 100 and this is what we do for all the other films, when actually it's kind of, if you take the director away, it's kind of inoffensive. I think the reason that we put so much stakes on an expectation is because of the cast. If you took away the director and you took away the cast, it would be the most under the radar, inconsequential, never to be unearthed by real fans of the genre,
or found on Channel 5
or
midnight.
Found on Channel 5, So I think the reason, maybe for me personally, that I'm so kind of indifferent but verging on negative about it is just because all the other films we've kind of looked at on the podcast just have some substance to them of the film itself being on the list, whereas this just feels like it's on the list because of him, and therefore maybe I'm being harsher on it because of that reason, because you've just read that review out and I'm like, I can't really fault that point of view. Okay. Also, just lastly, before we sort of share our final thoughts, just wanted to share a couple of awards. So in 2009, Time listed the film number 6 on their list of top 10 worst video game movies. And then, of course, we have our Razzies, which it made an appearance for. So Bloodrayne, Kristanna Loken was nominated for Worst Actress against Hilary and Hayley Duff. Jessica Simpson and Lindsay Lohan. Sharon Stone won that one for Basic Instinct 2. Uwe Boll nominated for Worst Director, also nominated Michael Canton-Jones for Basic Instinct 2, Ron Howard for Da Vinci Code, Keenan Ivory Wayans for Little Man. Winner was M. Night Shyamalan for Lady in the Water. It was nominated for Worst Picture, again, winner Basic Instinct 2. Lady in the Water, Little Man and The Wicker Man were nominated. Worst Screenplay, same usual suspects. Winner was Basic Instinct 2 again. Ben Kingsley nominated Worst Supporting Actor against David Lewis for Basic Instinct 2, Martin Short for Santa Claus 3, Danny DeVito for Deck the Halls, but M. Night Shyamalan won for The Lady in the Water. And also Michelle Rodriguez was nominated for Worst Supporting Actress. Kristen Chenoweth, Kate Boswell, Jenny MacArthur-Wahlberg, and then Carmen Electra won for Date Movie and Scary Movie 4, which is very fitting for our podcast.
So yeah, crossover movies heading in there.
Yeah. A cinematic universe, you say?
This is your multiverse of madness.
This is bloody madness, that's for sure. And then the Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, which tends to come up every now and then with these films. It actually won for the least special effects against Eragon, Little Man, Ultraviolet, and Zoom. Haven't heard of half of those. Was nominated for
Eragon. I remember that was heavily advertised.
Yeah, I remember the trailer actually, and I remember the books we had at school.
I've seen most of those, and
it was nominated for least scary horror movie. Winner was Lady in the Water. Most annoying fake accent nominated. Winner of worst ensemble. Winner of worst picture.
Worst accent, I would like to know.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Worst fake accent female. Cindy Chung, Lady in the Water. Again, these are all the same, and they've always been the same. They pick a handful of films that they know weren't well received. Maybe they watch them, maybe they don't, and then they just slot them into the categories, which is why I'm kind of like just not even bothering to repeat all of them.
The ones it's popular to beat up on.
Yeah, basically. Nominated for Worst Screenplay, Date Movie won. It won Worst Sense of Direction. Uwe Boll became the first director to win this award 2 consecutive years. Ouch. He bet he loved that. Meatloaf nominated for Worst Supporting Actor, and Michelle Rodriguez nominated for Worst Supporting Actress. So, you know, they really sweeped the nominations of the Bad Film Awards that year.
Congratulations.
I wonder if he attended any. Gonna guess no.
I think if he did, he would have beat up half of them.
Yeah, I feel like we would have had a pre-Oscars situation with some violence in the ceremony. Okay, so what should we have? Should we have a round robin of what our we're deciding our ratings are
Just
out of 5?
Just gave me a really horrible flashback to team meetings there.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. My PR lingo comes through into my personal life.
Round
now.
robin just sends me back.
Round robin, touch base, circle back, take off line. I've got a whole bingo card.
Take off line. I haven't heard that one in a while. Oof.
I like take off line. Yeah. Feels passive aggressive, but it's not.
It does.
Anyway, I'm gonna kick it off. I think I'm gonna go for 2 stars out of 5. I feel like that might be quite surprising considering how I've kind of like ripped into it quite a lot. But all of the stuff I've ripped into it for isn't that it's bad, it's just that it's boring. So I can't, in good faith, in my system of scoring stuff, give it anything less than that because it's not tipping the scale that far, and it's just very middle of the road, but doesn't give me any saving graces from that. Like, I watched a film the other day and I was like, this is incredibly middle of the road, but I laughed quite heavily a few times. It's probably going to be bumped a little bit further up. This is kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah, I agree completely with most of that. 2 stars for me as well. If I did not know that this was on the bottom 100, and again, as I've said multiple times now, stumbled across it on Channel 5 one evening, by the end of it,
Channel 5,
I would have just been like, well, that was a bit shit, wasn't it? And then I would have carried on with my life. I would never have thought about it again. I would just be like, oh, it's a bit of a shit movie. Literally. Off we trod. So yeah, like, I can't you can easily fault it, but like it just doesn't seem even worthy of ripping it apart. Yeah, just a bland. It would
But
really
we did
be,
anyway.
We did it. It would really be like a 1.75, but I'm not going that. I'm not
Are
going
we
there.
going decimal places?
No, we're not. We're not. We can go halves, but that's it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's getting a 2. I couldn't go 1.5. It has to like offend me to get a 1.5.
Yeah, exactly. It has to. Yeah, we're on the same
That's
page.
fair
then.
enough.
James, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna be less positive than you two. Half a star, I'll give it. Bearing in mind, I do give films 0 stars, so this isn't like bottom of the bottom for me.
So it should be grateful.
Yeah, because in fairness, I don't. The lowest I do is 0.5 because Letterboxd doesn't allow me to do 0.
Zero would for me be totally irredeemable, and I've never seen a film like that.
Well, if something was 0 stars for me, I would turn it off or leave. Like if a film's that bad, I would leave the cinema or turn it off. Yeah, if it was truly that bad, I could not continue.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a sadomasochist in that way. I gotta finish the things.
I'm like that.
But I saw Bloodrayne the same day I saw Top Gun Maverick, and
okay then, that all makes sense.
Top Gun Maverick was
makes sense.
like 40 minutes longer, but felt so much shorter than Bloodrayne to me. And I think it's just with Bloodrayne, I struggled to believe in anything this film gave me. It just didn't feel like the actors had anything to put into because they didn't have anything to latch onto to put into, and the direction was just so uninteresting. It kind of drained a bit of my life, and I'm not fond of that.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. It's nothing that really went wrong in the production or anything like that, other than the screenplay stuff. It's just the direction is so like there's nothing to it. Really,
it's done and it's moved on. They're not trying to dig into that well any deeper. It's very shallow.
There's no life in it, and I think just further proves that maybe he should be a producer rather than a director. But
you've made me look up what I watched this around, and like the list of films I watched that I then ended with Bloodrayne. I went on a run during my COVID era. And I watched in the space of a week The Departed, Face Off, The Rock, Logan, Armageddon, Con Air, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then I finished it with Bloodrayne.
Oh my god.
I love the theme though, very sort of like
I wanted big man smashy crashy bar.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was what I was craving, but I really, really was. But also, it needed to be of a specific era. And I had never seen The Rock or Armageddon, or Logan or Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, or most of Face Off. Most of them were first time watchers, so it's
nice.
Yeah.
Well, at least something was good out of that then.
Yeah.
Not.
I would have rather not had COVID. But
no, goes without saying. I thought you could say I would rather have not have watched Bloodrayne, but
nah. I actually watched Bloodrayne after I tested out, and I was really mad because I was going to watch it the night before, and I was like, I'm still going to be COVID positive tomorrow, so I'll just watch it tomorrow. And then
on your first 3 days
that afternoon,
and
I was like, I went out for a bit, and I was like, I'm going to go home and watch Bloodrayne now.
Oh no, that's the worst.
No.
It was fine. I was tired. I had not left my bed in 13 days. I had no stamina to be going outside.
Too much excitement. Too much excitement.
Turns out I got it wrong. I watched Bloodrayne the day after I watched Top Gun Maverick, so I'm a fucking liar.
Oh, same.
But I feel like if you like Top Gun Maverick's like being hooked up to a pure adrenaline, and then it's as if you're literally like being drained of life watching Bloodrayne. So it's like the complete opposite in terms of like feeling.
One adds years to your life and the other one takes double that amount.
Yeah. Anything you did have, double's gone. In terms of deserving its ranking and saving or burning, I don't think it deserves to be on the bottom 100. Out of 100 films, I don't think it's the worst 100. However, I'm bringing you out of the fire, but I'm not going to help you get back on your feet,
Yeah, I would be the same. Like, it's hard, especially because it's very like low on the list or high on the list, depending on how you view numeral lists. But like, it's in the 20s. I'm like, oh, I don't, is this one of the worst 30 films ever made? The problem being,
That's a good point, actually.
None of us know the source material. So, I consider Peter Jackson's adaptation of The Lovely Bones to be one of the worst cinema crimes I've ever seen in my life. I want to fight Peter Jackson. I hate his adaptation so much. I cannot stand the man. He's a fucking hack, and he ruined what I thought was a beautiful novel.
Oh, so this is why you don't like Lord of the Rings.
I also didn't like Lord of the Rings before that, and then when I found out he was doing Lovely Bones, I was like, oh no, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh no. I do like his movie, one of his very first movies, though, Brain Dead, which is actually a decent movie. But I've not seen Heavenly Creatures, so I cannot comment.
It's so good.
But yeah, I know. But the Peter Jackson-ness puts me off.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, so like, to me, Lovely Bones is one of the worst movies ever made because the book was so important to me, and when I read that book, I wanted to make the film of it. Like, I was like 15 reading it and so inspired that I was like envisioning making the movie one day. That was going to be like my dream, to adapt that book. So I can understand that, like, it's really easy for me to be like, oh, this film is just a bit boring and like it doesn't really deserve to be on here. But if you are an avid fan of that game, this must just be so insulting to you, and you must feel the way that I feel about that adaptation of Lovely Bones. So I can understand why for other people it does deserve to be on the list, because you're making an adaptation and you've basically just I don't know because I've not played the game, but it sounds like they just threw it out and kept the name.
Yeah. And it's all about that context, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about, and we've discussed this before, your expectations going into something truly do shape your actual experience of it.
Yeah.
And I can understand, and also we've spoken about like the impact of who's reviewing, when they're reviewing it, why they're reviewing it, affects why it's also on the bottom 100 stuff. There's so many nuances to this stuff, and I think we're starting to see the patterns because we've done so many now, that's clearly why that was there. We're not the audience for it. For us, it doesn't belong on there, but that's the beauty of these films. Like, it's all subjective, so you're never really gonna find the worst because it's all down to who is rating them and what that story is. But yeah, I mean, if we're looking at it for worst films in the world of all time, yes, it's impacted that community, but I don't think as its own standalone thing it deserves that.
But we
especially
all agree The Lovely
29.
Bones does deserve to be 29, right? We all
I've never even seen it.
So haven't seen it. Anyone? So are we sort of in agreement then? I think that we're
James
not going to bother to.
James.
Yeah, James, do you want to share any further?
I spoke over him.
Oh, don't worry about it. Considering how many films get released each year, to say bottom 100, I wouldn't class this as being in that. I mean, I would happily replace it with so many bigger films that, like Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Where's that in there? And hell, I could think of another Uwe Boll film that could take this one's place, but I don't like it, but not top 100, bottom 100 worst of all time.
Cool. All right. So, spoken about Bloodrayne, spoke what we don't like about Bloodrayne, not much of what we do like. Let's talk about films that we do like for our theme of the week. It's actually been decided by, I guess, James. Do you want to introduce what our theme for our Daisy versus Clare and James?
Oh, I'm in on this.
Film off is.
You won't be in the verses, but you get to kick us off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our theme this week is revenge films.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because in the movie, she's trying to get revenge on her father for raping her mother.
Get it? That's the only clear sort of like through line we could make.
Because I had not seen enough medieval films.
And vampire films were taken.
Yeah, we did vampire films on Vampire Sucks, unfortunately. So. And we're going to say video game adaptations for likely Street Fighter.
I was thinking, we hadn't actually discussed that, but that's exactly what I was thinking. Ooh. But James, you want to kick us off with your top three? You can do them in any order. You can do them in random, or you can do them in a 3, 2, 1, whatever.
Okay. You know what? I will do this in some kind of order. 3, 2, 1. Now, I've avoided some of the more obvious ones, cause just in case any of you want to take them.
We do like an obvious movie.
Well, they're obvious for a good reason. They're fucking good. And okay, for my number 3, I'm going to go with an early film from director Peter Strickland, who gave us In Fabric and Berberian Sound Studio. It's Katalin Varga.
I've not heard of this.
Okay, so you got the title woman, Katalin Varga. It opens with her being cast out by her husband from their village and forced to take her young son because the husband discovers the young son isn't actually his. So he says to her, go find his real father. And what Katalin Varga decides is going to her son, oh yeah, we'll go visit my ill mother. And she tells everyone this, but in actuality, her intention is to take revenge on the 2 men who sexually assaulted her all those years ago. Now, this isn't a film that's intent on stylizing the revenge. It's instead focused on the sobering aftermath of enduring something so horrific for so long. And it's a reminder of how the past is always ready to haunt you. And it rests on the shoulders of its star, Hilda Peter. I hope I didn't butcher that. And I think she does a phenomenal job capturing the pain this woman has carried all this time. And there's a standout moment where she has to deliver a monologue, and it just holds your attention, and it does something I love in films of reminding you how the most engrossing thing can be just somebody talking. And I think it's
absolutely,
it's definitely underseen. I'd say go see it. It's damn good.
Talking of people speaking and being engrossing, I think James should just come on and do all future top 3s.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my god, he's a professional.
No, I fake it well.
Well, please give us your second one. I'm like,
yes.
Oh.
Okay, my second one is Alice Lowe's Provenge.
Oh, I've heard of this.
So there are some days when I'm just like, oh, I can't be bothered to finish this. And this film, Alice Lowe wrote, directed, and starred in, all while she was heavily pregnant. And it just makes me think, what the fuck am I doing? And so the basic premise is you got this pregnant widow who goes on a homicidal rampage, and she's seemingly guided by her unborn child to go and kill all these people. And it's such an impressive debut. It's a tale where grief takes a blackly comedic and very murderous form. It's quite short, it's damn good, and it makes you proud of what British cinema can deliver.
I've not seen this, but it comes up on so many lists of like best British films, best indie horrors, best debuts, best films by women. Like, it always comes up on one of those lists, and every time someone talks about it, I'm like, God, I really want to watch this film. So I need to I need to get it done.
Number 3?
Oh, yeah. My number 1 is a film by director Park Chan-wook. Not that one. It's The Handmaiden.
I have been recommended this by so many people. Please tell me more.
Okay, so it's set in 1930s Korea. It's about this young woman who's hired to be a handmaiden to a Japanese heiress. And the heiress lives in a secluded countryside estate with a domineering uncle watching over her. Turns out the maid's actually a pickpocket who's been recruited by a swindler who's posing as a Japanese count. And the swindler's plan is he's going to seduce the heiress so he can steal her fortune by having the heiress committed. But plans take a turn when the maid and the heiress fall in love with each other.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's one of those films. And what you have is this multi-layered, duplicitous tale about love, which would make Hitchcock proud. It's hilarious, it's compelling, it's so clever as you've got these 4 people who are constantly trying to manipulate each other from behind the scenes. But when it comes down to it, it's these women trying to fight back against the men who've been controlling them all their lives. It's really damn good. I'd really recommend this one. And there's an extended cut, which is like 3 hours long, and it does not feel it. It's as vital as the theatrical cut. I'd highly recommend this one.
Amazing. And I've just checked because your recommendation was so strong. At current time of recording, we're recording on the 1st of June 2022. This won't come out until likely July. But at time of recording, it's available on both All 4 and Netflix in the UK and Ireland. So 2 streaming services, one of which is free. So, maybe by the time this airs, when I edit this, I'll be like, fuck, go watch it.
Yeah, it's definitely been on my list for a while, so definitely need to get to that one.
Thank you for educating us.
Thank you, James.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to talk bullshit.
It's always so funny because our guests come on and always have these wonderful, varied, well thought out top threes, and then me and Claire are just like, yeah, I guess I saw that one time. All of the ones we've mentioned are probably some of the most highest grossing films.
And I keep repeating films because I'm like, I can't remember if I've already mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again.
Hey, goods are good for a reason.
You love us at our worst.
Yeah.
You don't.
Oh, hell yeah.
Whatever that phrase is. Do you know what I mean? This is who we are, whether we like it or not.
Hell yeah. Anyone that can't accept it can go watch another Uwe Boll film.
There you go. Claire, who's going first this week?
Well, I feel like last time you let me get some of the good ones. You were very kind to me in the Sony one. You were like, you can take Spider-Man and Mitchell's, and like, so I feel like you should be allowed to go first.
I wonder. See, I'm not 100% convinced we'll have loads of crossover this time. Whereas that one, I did think we would.
Yeah.
But I will happily take first dibs. I am going. It's a very great segue actually, because my first. This is in no particular order as well. My first choice is Old Boy.
Yes.
This shook me to my fucking core. I watched Old Boy, which is also directed by Park Chan-wook. I can't even remember, because I always have a reason why I watch something. There's always like on a list, or someone's recommended it to me, or whatever. And I can't remember why at that point, but I think I'd bought it on Blu-ray. Maybe someone had recommended it, and I got it in like a HMV deal. I did not expect what I saw. Like, I recommend it to people all the time. I really need to rewatch it soon. It's essentially about a guy that's imprisoned for a long time. I think about 15 years potentially. I can't remember off the top of my head. And he's released, and he is essentially left to seek revenge, but it's actively encouraged. It's a big mystery. It all sort of unravels as you watch it, and it's just so captivating and shocking and really pushes the boundaries on stuff, and it's just fantastically made film. All I will leave you with is one word, which is hallway. If you know, you know.
That was my only problem with the film, and it wasn't the problem with the hallway film. But when I watched Old Boy for the first time, which I think was only last year, I did it as my I watched last year for my birthday a new film for every year I'd been alive that I hadn't seen before. So I watched Old Boy, I think the year it came out. But in my brain, I had got it crossed with The Raid, because everyone kept saying about the hallway scene. Everyone was like, oh my god, the hallway scene. And so my brain combined Old Boy and The Raid into one film. Once I realised, because like one of the first scenes is him leaving his captivity, and I was like, wait, what? Like, isn't he meant to stay there for the whole movie? But once I got over that, like, absolutely loved it. Have either of you seen the American remake?
I haven't.
You have. I really want to watch it because I love Elizabeth Olsen, and I'm fascinated.
Oh, was she in
it? She plays the love interest. So having seen how that works out in the film, in the original, I'm fascinated that Elizabeth Olsen took that role in the American remake.
I will say the American remake, Spike Lee has disowned it because it's not the cut he wanted to make.
Oh, interesting.
But
I am going to watch it.
I'm very curious about it regardless.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to
it always comes up in the conversations about American remakes of foreign films.
Credit where it's due, that film does take some avenues of its own way. It's not just a complete shot-for-shot remake, but it's got issues.
That's it. I'm not going to prioritise watching that over something like The Handmaiden, but one day I do want to watch it just for the comparison and because I like Elizabeth Olsen.
Fair enough.
There we go.
And Old Boy is a great film to watch on Father's Day.
My father's dead, so I can watch it and not worry.
Oh no. Moving on, would you like to pick your next?
Look, If I can't make a joke about it, who can?
Well, precisely. It's just like we didn't think we could get lower. We got lower.
My first choice, because I am the most basic of bitches, is Emerald Fennell's Promising Young Woman. Because if you followed me on Twitter last year,
would be your one.
That was the one that I was worried we might have crossover on.
Well, I left that one for you because I've only seen it once.
Oh yeah, I watched it 3, if not 4 times last year. I just, oh my god, that film felt like it was made for me. I love the aesthetic. I love the video game elements. I love the depiction of grief. I love Carey Mulligan when she gets to play a modern role. Please let Keira Knightley and Carey Mulligan live in the modern world, please. I love the aesthetic. I know people have problems with the ending. I think it's the perfect film. I give it 5 stars because it's perfect for me and it moves me in a way so other films do, and it grips me in a way so many other films don't. Don't. And I was so eager to share it with other people in my life. I can completely understand everyone else's criticism of the ending. For me, the ending works. Everyone else's opinions are valid, but for me it does work, so it doesn't ruin the movie for me. And I just love everything about it. I was watching something yesterday and a song from the soundtrack came on the thing I was watching and I was like, that's a Promising Young Woman song.
I definitely need to rewatch it because I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Brilliant piece of cinema. And I'm so gutted because it didn't get a cinema release in the UK. It went straight to Sky Cinema. The Prince Charles finally got a copy of it. I think it was the Prince Charles, or maybe I'm almost definite it was Prince Charles. If not, it was a cinema in Wales that I also follow. I think it's called The Chapter. But they finally have done a cinema print of it at some point this year, but I'm in Ireland, so I couldn't go.
So nowhere in Ireland of...
Not that I've
not
that I'm aware of, but I was like, oh, if I had been, which is why I feel like it must have been the Prince Charles, because if I had been at home, I definitely would have gone to the Prince Charles to see it. Ironically, of my 4 favourite films, of which I would count that as up there, so I've only seen one of them in the cinema.
Just goes to show, don't need to see on a big screen to really get the full effect.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I like how the entire plot is revenge. She's so driven, and it shows you the damage revenge can do, like how all-consuming and life-ruining.
It's so meticulously thought out, and it's so smart in that way because it's meticulously thought out because she has not been able to think of anything else.
And when you look and the discussions with her parents about she has no life, she used to be literally she was a promising young woman, and look what the brutal rape and subsequent death of her best friend did to her. And a lot of these films do revolve around sexual assault because that seems to be a big revenge thing, because I think in society there's so few consequences for that kind of thing that
I was about to say I think it's because of that. It's a consequence of the fact that there don't tend to be consequences for that. Yeah.
Love to bring it down. Apologies.
That's all right.
It's a great film. It's
a beautiful film.
Okay, for my next pick, I'm going for John Wick.
Ooh.
I still never seen it.
First side note, bonus points because I mean you've never seen it, but
I know what happens.
You know about why he's seeking revenge.
Yeah,
right?
I do.
The dog is called Daisy.
There's a dog on the screen now too. James has a dog. What's James's dog called?
He's called Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
Oh, how adorable!
Would you go on a John Wick rampage for Eddie?
It's like that Brooklyn Nine-Nine clip of I've only known this dog for so long, but if anything happened to him, I'll kill everyone in this room, including myself.
Yeah, good.
Oh, Eddie, we love a pet guest.
Oh, he's a sucker for attention.
I feel like when John Wick came out, I don't think I saw it in the cinema. I think I listened back to some old podcasts and ended up seeking it out, and I think it's because the second one was coming out as well. But I was just so impressed. It felt really fresh. Like, it was kind of like Keanu Reeves' second coming. Like it kind of cemented him as this older action star, like right back into our hearts. And it was just like had some really interesting things to it in terms of like the editing, the tone. It just felt kind of had that, and I mentioned this I ended up reviewing the second one when I used to write, and I mentioned it mainly in that one, but I think it goes for the whole series, which is it kind of brings back that cool suave 80s action thing, whilst also being super slick with like the post 2000 era kind of stuff. And yeah, he's just a fantastic lead guy. You know, all of I think the main thing about why it's so well received is the action choreography is just absolutely outstanding, to the point where the stunt choreographer now directs films in his own right, and he's known, like, I know what his name is. Like, that's crazy, like, to think that in this industry. And it's got a great lore behind it, which we learn much more about in the second and third films, but it's just done really well in the first one as well. Like the coins and stuff, it's got a lot of iconography, which I really like, and now I just want to watch it again. So
maybe next time we are in the same country, we can watch it together.
Yeah,
because you've still not seen it.
Yeah,
If it had been made in the 90s, I would have watched it on my COVID-fueled action, but it was too recent. It needed to be 90s for me to watch it.
It has that older school
vibe.
Action. It's not in the way it looks, just that kind of just like this action starts, because you know, like James mentioned, like Transformers and things like that. Action has become, I think it's because action has become so CG and superhero that having a really good grounded action with a front man stunt choreography just felt like, oh wow, like this is yeah. So that's my second choice.
Nice. I am going to go for another very Claire. Like, Daisy's going for like the hardcore, like male vengeance, like highbrow.
I will, and my third one will conclude that trilogy.
Nice. I'm going for candy. I'm like just candy coloured things. I'm going to go for Heathers. I do like a bit of Heathers. It's a controversial film. It's an odd film. I think I maybe talked about it in our teen movies, but I don't know.
I think that you did.
I don't know if I picked it or just referenced it. I can't remember. Oops, if I picked it again. But I just like it. I think it's a different revenge film. I think it's also like one of those revenge films where you're like, why are you taking revenge on these girls? Like, yeah, they're bitches, but do they deserve to die? I think it was a very modern film. I really would like to see the stage musical version of it, because I've heard the songs, because they did a Riverdale musical episode about it.
What I continue to misunderstand this show and what it really is for.
Yeah, you can't question it. But yeah, it's great. It made Winona Ryder. It's just a really fun, and like, I remember watching it as a teenager. My dad recommended it to me. He was a big fan of it, and just being like, wow,
your dad had great taste.
My dad did have great taste. But then he also really likes some trash. Kiss Kiss by Holly Valance is one of his favourite songs of all time.
Wow, not heard that in years.
He was like,
that's a banger. He was like,
that is a pure pop song. Yeah, really enjoy Heathers. Just think it's great and very different. And I remember watching it, being like, I didn't know you were allowed to do stuff like this in a film. So yeah, that's my
interesting. Who directs it? Is it like a known director?
Daniel Waters, I think, or he might have just done the script. I'm not 100% certain.
Yes, he did the script. It was directed by Michael Lemon. Who, let's see.
So I'm just trying to see if there was anything else that
he did. He did 40 Days and 40 Nights, which I've also previously spoken about.
Which I also haven't seen. Yeah. By the by, I will get through these films eventually and be up to speed.
And just in time for Pride Month, I love my dead gay son.
What a line.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you're gonna go for strong titles, then that's one. Yes, rounding out my we've heard the term strong female lead, but this is my strong male lead trilogy. Is Memento.
Ooh.
I am a Nolan fanboy. I hold my hands up. I think everything that he does is fantastic, to varying degrees, but all fantastic in my mind. Memento has to be one of my absolute favorites, though. I feel like that is just in its own. I wouldn't say in its own league in terms of like quality. It just has its own voice and style, which is very. Whereas now you're like, that's a Nolan film. Whereas that, I don't think, if people didn't know, I don't know if they would necessarily equate it. I think it definitely has his hallmarks there, but because it was one of his earlier films, maybe he didn't have his sort of like tried and true sort of way of going about things. But it's just so stylistic. If we're going to talk about non-linear narratives, that is right up there. It's just so geniusly structured. But ultimately, it's about a man seeking revenge on the rape of his wife. But I can't remember if it's the murder and rape of his wife.
I believe it is as well.
Yeah, I think it is. And it's for a revenge film, the construction of it being that he has amnesia and he can't actually remember anything other than that he is seeking revenge is just it's just so smart. And for those that haven't sort of seen it, I don't want to spoil too much, but ultimately, you know, from the very beginning that he uses tattoos to help remember things. It's just the exact sweet spot for me in terms of the type of story, the type of narrative, the way that it's told. The cast are also fantastic. Carrie Ann Moss is in that one as well. And what's Joe's last name?
Pantoliano.
Begins with Pantoliano. He's just that character actor that I used to see, and then I see him more and more, and I'm like, I love this guy. Whenever he turns up, I'm like, I love this guy. And Guy Pearce is our main character. So, yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen that already, and you're even if you're lukewarm on Chris Nolan, I really, really recommend it. I love calling him Chris like he's my pal. Anyway, that concludes.
I'm not a big Nolan fan, but I didn't love Memento, but I did enjoy it, and like as a piece of filmmaking, like you have to respect it. Like it's so well crafted, it hangs together beautifully.
Very unique as well.
Yeah, so you have to respect.
It's interesting that not many people have copied it, and I wonder if it's because they know that they will not be able to do it justice.
Yeah, and it's like such a carbon copy as well that everyone will just be like, oh, you're just doing Memento. It's a bit because it was quite unique and different. I was going to be even more basic and do Inglourious Bastards as my third. But I've been a little bit inspired by James, so I'm going to do like a kind of smaller film that like people won't have seen. And it's also, you know, female. So it's an Irish film called Rose Plays Julie. I saw it at LFF in 2019, and it got a release, I believe, in either 2020 or 2021. It got a wider release. I think it is on one of the streamers, or it was at one point. So it follows a young Irish vet student who goes off to college to learn to be a vet, and she tries to discover her biological mother because she was given up for adoption, and she tries to connect with her and learn why was she given away, because her mother is a rich and famous actress, and she learns that she's the product of rape. And so then she sets out to figure out who it was that raped her mother, and it's a tale of revenge. It's very quiet, very subtle, very meditative, but I really enjoyed it. I was really taken by it. I hadn't seen that many Irish films at the time. It was kind of my introduction to like the Irish film industry. It's great. It's just got really strong performances. It pretty much hangs on the three main characters, and it, like, again, that use of silence. So if you want to take a chance on a smaller film, I would recommend that one.
That sounds interesting. And I just had a look. It's apparently on BFI Player at the moment.
There we go.
Lovely stuff. I also just wanted to mention a few that were on my potential list. Promising Young Woman was definitely on there. Kill Bill. was also on there. And then my boyfriend introduced me to Dead Man's Shoes when we first started dating. What is the guy that did This Is England?
Shane Meadows.
The director. Yeah, it's a Shane Meadows film. Very harrowing, very just a fantastic sort of character work. You recognise people from it. Very low budget, just very masterful in its storytelling. Just really, really impactful. It's essentially, I can't even really tell you too much about what it's about because it will spoil it, but it's a guy going back to his hometown, seeking revenge for on this sort of gang of guys and what they've done to his younger brother who has learning difficulties and disabilities, and it's got Paddy Considine is the main guy seeking revenge. It's just it hits hard. So it's one of those ones you have to be in the right mood for, but I really do recommend it if you like Shane Meadows' other stuff or you like those kind of films. So that was my honourable mention.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so I think that so that wraps it up for us for Bloodrayne. Couldn't even remember the name of the film.
That memorable.
So there we go. Yeah, well, let us know if you've seen it. Let us know if you want to give it a go now, or if you've seen any other Uwe Boll films.
Definitely let us know if you played the game, because I would I'd love to hear that opinion.
Yeah, if you played the game and then what your opinion was on the film, if you've seen both as well. I can't say I've picked up on hearing anyone, but maybe we should ask around on our Twitter community or other people that we know and see if they've played it. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at WRatedPod, all one word, and on Letterboxd at WRated, with a space between the W and the R. James, do you want to tell us where we can find you and if there's anything that you want to give a bit of a plug for?
Sure thing. If you want to find me on Twitter or Letterboxd, I'm at RoddersJ04. That's spelled with 2 Ds. And I write my reviews at thereviewingrodders.co.uk. I also put any articles I write or any podcast appearances I make in there. So yeah, go check that out if you've got no time or you're bored or something.
No, make time.
Oh, I'm not your parent.
Fair play. We're saying make time.
We are your parents.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are your parents now. Claire, where can we find you?
Just be lurking around the W-rated Twitter, COVID-free. Interact with me on the W-rated Twitter, because I'm not very good at Twittering over there. So make me respond to stuff, unless you're a creep. If you're a creep, I won't respond.
Maybe that's why. Because everyone's a creep.
Everyone's a creep.
Come show us you're not creeps, people that listen. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram you can find me on Twitter at Daisy Vic Edwards, and on Instagram Letterboxd Daisy Victoria Edwards. And yeah, I'm really not. I'm not really. There's nothing really interesting going on my life. I won't be complaining about moving anymore because I've done that. Won't be complaining about my course anymore because I've done that. But I do think we're picking up on the film again, the short film that we're making. So maybe some interesting updates there. So drop us a message about films. I don't know. Do what you want. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. If you enjoy listening to our podcast, we would love it if you can give us a follow or a subscribe, and any ratings or reviews as well. We love reading what you guys think about the podcast, and we hope you can join us for the next episode. We're going to take on another worst rated film, and we'll see you then.